Welcome to my new series, Cafesito Tuesdays. Okay.
What's up, guys? It's Izzy Wonderland.
But dealing with these issues, I learned some things that I want to share with other people that might be going through the same thing. I picked Cafesito Tuesdays. Well, really it came to my mind, but me and my husband are coffee connoisseurs. Anything caffeine, you know, your girl's on it because I'm a mom of two and I need caffeine sometimes. Right now I'm not drinking cafe, but I am drinking a Red Bull, which I don't recommend you drink. But I've been frustrated, I've been stagnant, and I want to help you with the things that I felt like helped me.
This past year really almost took me out, the past year and a half. But I've always been a person that I knew what I wanted to do since I was a little girl. I knew what I wanted to be. I never saw myself as a person who just gave up on themselves, a person who lived in regret. And I found that in the last year, I lived constantly in the past, looking at the what ifs, looking at the why me, why is this happening to me? And
suffering and trauma happens all the time, but there are times where you just feel like it's just piling on top of piling on top of piling, and you can't just seem to get your head above the water. But it felt like I couldn't catch a break. And then I started to lose my passion for things that I loved for a very long time. I started to lose focus. I started to forget my purpose, and I started putting lack of confidence from myself and not remembering that my confidence comes from God. I had to really lay down my pride, that my passion and my strength comes from me, and no, it doesn't. My strength and my passion, it comes from God. And when I realized that, which is not that long ago, I started to just put my foot forward and realize, like, I am not doing what God has called me to do for me. It is because He has told me many of times. We get disappointed from people, we get disappointed from circumstance, we get disappointed because we don't get the opportunities that we think that we deserve, and then we start to weigh down. And so one thing I learned is that when God calls you to do something, it's not going to always be smooth. You're not always going to get the support from family and friends that you think that you deserve. There is somebody out there who is pressed on your video, pressed on your picture, your social media, that one thing that you shared that you thought that nobody cared about, and it made a difference in their life. You are important, you have value, you have purpose. I wrote down some points because, you know, if I don't write down some points, then I will get distracted. What are you willing to suffer for? That's what I kept hearing. At one point, for me personally, I felt like I was excited to get up in the morning to do certain things. I was excited, you know, to do my makeup, to talk to people, to make a video. And this past year, like I said, I had to force myself to even get up to do anything. And sometimes when your mental health is declining and you like just to even put your feet on the ground is a lot of work, it's already tapped out. It's like you have to know your why. Like, I know that I want to help women. I want to help young women know their purpose. I want to help young women discover what their passion is, get up out of, you know, depression, get up out of misery, get up out of uncomfortable, sad situations. I want to help those women who have lost themselves to find themselves through God. I want to help them regain their confidence. And I want to use my tool of makeup and dance and singing. I want to encourage others. But did I always feel like that? No, I didn't always feel like that, but I prayed. And even in my weaknesses, I'm just like, God, please help me. Please, Lord, give me strength. Give me passion, Lord. I just said, I'm gonna keep going. I made up my mind, basically. I'm gonna keep going until the end, until you tell me stop. And even if I get 1 like, no likes, I have to keep going. And I don't always feel like that. I'm not gonna lie. There's some days where I'm like, you know what? No one cares about what I have to say. But that's just a lie we tell ourselves. We all have something to say. We all have a purpose. And if we stop, we don't know who we are going to inspire from our message. Who we are. Who are we serving our purpose for? We have to know that it's God. And when it is for God, you can't waver. You have to be obedient. Doesn't matter how we feel. The purpose is for God. Sometimes what we're willing to suffer for is enough to take us out, to make us want to stop, to make us want to give up. But in those moments where you feel like giving up, you have to be like, okay, this is what God told me to do. I have to keep pushing. And to know, is it worth it? And the answer is yes, it is worth it. Your suffering, your lack of sleep, your frustration, your worries, your finances, all that might feel like it's coming down on you, but it's like it will be worth it once you do what God has for you. He will make sure that He will provide, that He will put you in front of the right people, put you in the right places. And so yes, it is worth it. Another point is pushing past the chaos. There has been many times this year that I felt like giving up. And before then, again, when I became a mother, I felt like I'd never bounce back mentally. That's a big one. When my marriage was, when I wasn't getting along with my spouse and I felt like just leaving. When my son came out with a heart condition, when my brother-in-law passed away, or when people disappointed me and people left and people didn't believe in me and people talked bad about me and people, gave up on me, I felt like just saying, you know what, I'm done, I'm not gonna do it. But then God keeps just like waiting. And you have to keep going. You cannot give up, because there is something inside of you that this world needs. And if you give up, you are depriving the world of what God put you on this earth for. Somebody's waiting for that message that you have, that something, that art, that, you're selling a product, maybe you're making something, and when you see that, it's like, wow, like God gets glorified through that gift. It's like everything that we do has a purpose, because it's going to redirect everybody towards God, give them that peace. You don't know if something you make makes somebody happy, but everything, God gets the glory in everything. Do not look to the past. Don't do that, because you will live in regret. The past is done. You can't change it. What you can do is choose to go forward and see what God has. It's never too late to make a turnaround. It's never too late to make a change. It's never too late to put your best foot forward. You have goals, write them down, pray over them. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm giving you this advice because this is stuff that I'm trying to put into practice. These are things that are hard for me to do, but I just decided, that's why I decided to start making these videos, is I'm not going to give up on myself. I'm not going to keep looking at the old Isabel, the old person that I was, the old things that I was doing. There is better days ahead than what you had before. And that was my problem. I kept looking at like, oh my God, all these experiences that I had, all these opportunities that I would have had, all the people that I knew, all the, experiences that I felt like I missed out on because of X, Y, and Z. And that's another lie. It's just, That's why we have to put our confidence in God and remember that it doesn't matter what we did. It's God at the end of the day has the last say. Stop thinking about what would have been different had you done X, Y, and Z. The time is now, because you don't want to live in bondage to regret. Something I do love to do in the morning, and I've been trying to implement this, and I don't do it every day, but I notice that when I do it makes a difference, is have a devotional. Also watch like a self-development video, a preaching. My personal devotional is Beyond the Waters. This is by my girl Carrie. She actually used to be my crew leader. Solos crew, shout out to Solos crew. Carrie Lucarini. It is awesome. It's crazy prophetic. Like some days I open it and I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly has to do with right now. And when I opened it up this morning, I was like frustrated this morning. Things were not going the way I had planned it. Today, when I woke up, initially I was excited, but then things started to be chaotic in my house. And then I didn't have time to do this. And then I had to wait till I had to wait till my son fell asleep, and I had to clean the house, and it was a mess, and I was just frustrated. And then I was extremely tired this morning because I had to, whatever. And then I said, you know what? With what you have right now, do your hair. I mean, it's in a bun, but it's done. Do your makeup, get dressed, feel good, look good, and execute what is on your list and what's on your purpose. So if you're watching this video and you feel like giving up, don't. I keep looking because my son is taking a nap right now. Girl, you have a purpose. You are called, you are chosen. It doesn't matter what it is. If you feel frustrated and you feel worried and you feel like giving up, just pray. Close your eyes and say, God, help me. Another big point is do not look to the past. Don't do that, because you will live in regret. Don't be like,
oh my gosh, what would have happened if I didn't give up before?
Make this decision. The past is done. You can't change it. What you can do is choose to go forward and see what God has. It's never too late to make a turnaround. It's never too late to make a change. It's never too late to put your best foot forward. You have goals, write them down, pray over them. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm giving you this advice because this is stuff that I'm trying to put into practice. These are things that are hard for me to do. I'm not going to give up on myself. I'm not going to keep looking at the old Isabel, the old person that I was, the old things that I was doing. There is better days ahead than what you had before. And remember that it doesn't matter what we did. It's God at the end of the day has the last say. If you enjoy